Let's check out a retro gaming swap meet on a Sunday and see what we end up with. The folks at the Detroit Retro Gaming Show did a spring Sunday swap event to test the waters and see if there was demand for a whole weekend for their main event in the fall, and with how packed it got, yeah, I'd say there is. There were over 60 tables and around 30 vendors with some local stores represented like Retro Taku, Palace Games, and Retro Replayed, but plenty of other spaces were private vendors as well. What I like too is while it might be called the Detroit Retro Gaming Show, there's plenty of other stuff from wrestling memorabilia, trading cards, retro knickknacks, comics, and more. I especially liked seeing some actual gaming, arts and crafts, and nerd culture related things and none of that 3D printed dragon stuff. Just pulled into the Detroit Retro Gaming Show mini Sunday swap thing, so let's take a look together and see what we got. I met up with my brother, that retro guy, and we began our perusing. Now, I didn't come here with any specific items in mind, but my usual go-tos are box consoles and accessories and big box PC games. One of the first booths that I went to was from New Metal Games to see my buddy Ryan, who's repaired some of my consoles as well as modded others like my Sega Nomad. The work they do is top-notch, and this Metroid GBA really should have come home with me. This is a rather rare and obscure accessory for the Wii, and as much as I've wanted it, I didn't want to drop $150 on it today. Now, this is one I've never seen in person, a rare Symphony of the Night Tiger handheld. Did any of you have this, and was it any good? My brother spotted this Pokemon camera from the 90s, and as a collector of the oddball knickknacks, it was really cool. The vendor let it go for $35, and considering it had the box, we had to snag it. Sadly, I did miss out on this beautiful Donkey Kong Country Super Nintendo box, though. Now, there were a few Pokemon vendors there, however, when I saw this table that had 151 binder sets for $120, that was just a massive turnoff from anything else that they were trying to sell. Now, before you come at me saying, well, that's what they are at on TCG Player, that doesn't make any sense. That price is silly. You mean to tell me that the 151 booster packs you can get for about $10 each, and there's only 4 of them in the set to begin with, and the binder you can find loose for $40-ish on eBay at the high end, where do the other $40 come into play? That price is silly. Anyway, enough about that. Going to all these shows, I've gotten familiar with some of the vendors and always come away with something from them, like this original Counter-Strike in its box for the PC. Now that's pretty cool. Or from the two funniest dudes at the show, they had these PlayStation controllers in the box as well as this early North American box console, all at amazing prices. Which, yes, it came home with me at $52, and for the condition of the box alone, there was no passing up on this. And it turned out they had 2 complete PlayStation 1 controllers, which they sold the pair for $20. So for $72, I got to relive the launch of the PlayStation 1. On top of that, I snagged that Counter-Strike box for $5, and while I didn't get into Counter-Strike until 1.6, this will be great on the shelf. Now, some wildcard stuff here, but I picked up Out of This World for the Super Nintendo, mainly on recommendation from other retro heads and folks in my Twitch chat. Speaking of Twitch, I recently beat Little Nemo for my first time ever while streaming, but I used an EverDrive, and I loved it so much that I wanted to have a real copy, so this is going in the collection. Lastly, I grabbed these Pixel Pals, a light-up collectible series that PDP was doing until recently, but these are completely out of production now, and while I have both of these opened already, they've taken a beating from lives and things like that, so I'm happy to have some backups at the ready. So yeah, this is everything that I ended up with from their little Sunday swap experiment, and I'm pretty happy with it. I think this Sunday experiment was definitely successful when it comes to the Detroit Retro Gaming Show, and seeing if this is going to be something they need to do for their show in November, which I'm super excited to be there. But yeah, I really am happy that we have something like this in the Metro Detroit area that just seems to be growing and evolving. More people getting involved. There was new vendors that I haven't seen before at this version, and I'm really excited to see how much bigger this is going to get. I'm really happy and proud to see this in our community, and I hope that you'll come out and support their November one. And if you see me there, say hi and cheers.